And we are live, guys. Welcome, girls of high value, to another live session from Oslo, Norway. My name is Joseph Darling, and what we're going to talk about today is why masculinity makes girls unhappy. Now, I'm not talking about boys that are masculine. I'm talking about the masculinity that is found within you as the girl. I want to talk about where that masculinity comes from, and then I want to talk about what it does to you, and how it changes the way you think and feel about certain things. And then I would like to tell you a little bit more about the future of a masculine woman. What happens? Okay, so let's first talk about where does it come from. Well, first of all, it has to do with testosterone and estrogen. Okay, these are chemicals that are basically in your body, the hormones that are in your body, that basically reinforces itself. Okay, so let's dive into that. So first of all, when you were born, or when you were in the womb, you were developing femininely. Okay, we all start out feminine, both boys and girls, and then we're feminine throughout our early years until about 9 years old. At the moment the boy is born, however, he gets a massive spike in testosterone, okay? And then he kind of normalizes, and it basically remains the same as girls for a period of time. And then come the teenage years where there's a lot of things happening to your body. Why is that? It's because your body is preparing you for childbirth. Your body is preparing you to reproduce and to create a family of your own. So your body's gonna do the things that are necessary in order for you to become a woman, or to basically have kids and to create that. And in men, it prepares them for motivation, for ambition, for rejection, for fighting, for protection, for doing all those things that men are supposed to do. Now, fortunately, we live in a society right now where we don't really need that much men who are protecting and providing, and even though that is what women would like them to do. If women could choose, they would want trustworthy men who protect and provide for them. If someone offered you $1 million, you would not say no. Exactly. There's a reason why girls are more attracted to guys who are able to provide. Now, sometimes those guys might not even be attractive, but the fact that they have the money, that they have power, or more power than she does, is a turn on, which basically means that they want, the guy that's more masculine. And when a guy is well built, he doesn't need to be massive, because that's not attractive to women either. But if he's well built, he's fast, he's got reflexes, he's got power, she knows that he's able to provide, and nature has made it in such a way that that is also what girls are attracted by and what they're turned on by. So it's beautifully created. The universe has made that in a beautiful system. A beautiful system that, when applied, will massively create happiness for you as a girl. You were designed to be happy. Doesn't look like it, does it? You look out in the world today, and most people are not happy, especially not women. Why is that? Okay, so let's go back again to your childhood, because always you've got to know who you are. The only way you know who you are is by knowing where you come from. And you come from your parents. They are the ones who created you. More so your mother than anything else, because you were growing inside her body with the hormones and the chemicals and all those different things that were going around in the womb for 9 months. Okay, and you also spent a good majority of years only with your mom. Your father was, he came by sometimes, or he was there a little bit, but most of the time you spent time with your mother. So if she had a lot of testosterone in her, if she was more masculine and more of, in some ways, a man, or more of burdened, okay, This is the easiest way to say it. It's burden creates masculinity. So if a woman is burdened, she will be more of a man. And that will have a massive effect on you as a girl, as the daughter. Because you end up getting a lot of those same chemicals, the same hormones building up in your body. Now that's going to influence every single aspect of your life. Every single aspect. Now, it's not your mother's fault. Because if she could choose, she would be feminine. Because she knows that the times when she's unburdened, when she's relaxed, when things are wonderful, when she can be bubbly and social and enjoy her kids and have fun and laugh and blah, 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 she is in her femininity. That's the time she's most happy. When she's in her burden state of rejection and things are not working out and problems and fretting and stressing and anxiousness and nervousness, burden, testosterone increases. Why? So that testosterone can provide motivation to solve the problem. Does that make sense? Testosterone is a problem solver. It's a motivation. It's a something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Which is basically what women are going through today. They're very impatient creatures. The reason why they're impatient is because their bodies are filled with testosterone that is killing them, by the way, but is also creating motivation to get things done, to get things happening. That's why women want results so much. Results is a masculine trait. It's a masculine desire. If a woman was feminine, she would care about the journey. She wouldn't care about the end destination over there. She wouldn't care about the future because the future is now and it's wonderful. You're happy, you're bubbly, you're laughing, you're dancing with your friends and spending time and socializing and running around. My wife sent me pictures of my kids now. They're in Washington State right now. And she sent me pictures of the kids, and especially was my daughter, who has a friend, and they're running around, holding hands, and laughing and giggling, and just for me to see that, it's just like, yes. Because I wasn't able to properly provide that in Norway. She's homeschooled, for a reason, but she's still homeschooled in America. However, she's been linked with girls her age who she can run around with and play around with. And I'm so grateful for that. Because that is unburdening and it allows her to be feminine, which is the biggest desire for me, is obviously for her to be happy. That's why I know it's critical that I encourage her femininity. And the only way I can do that is by setting up an environment where she can thrive with that. Same thing with my boy, my oldest boy. He's kind of been on his own. He hasn't had much competition and he hasn't had like this motivation and drive. He has it within him, but he hasn't been able to apply it and to put it into practice. And so he basically goes into video games and competes there instead, which is not good. He needs to be physically active. He needs to be filled with testosterone, motivation, fired up, ambition, and all those things. He has that. He gets that from me. However, my wife again sent me a picture of him running together with like a little bit older guys, a little bit older boys, like maybe 11 or 12-year-olds, and he's a 9-year-old almost in August, and it basically was a picture of them preparing to race each other, and I'm like, yes, masculinity for my boy, competition, rejection, being able to be out there and failing, and allowing that failure to develop more passion, more ambition, more drive, more testosterone in him. Do you understand how this system works? This all came from the mother, how she feels. If she's burdened, it's going to create a lot of problems. If I, as the father, unburden my woman, then that's going to have a positive effect on the kids. If I don't unburden my woman, it's going to have a very bad effect on my kids. And that's gonna basically very often last a lifetime. The reason why it lasts a lifetime, however, is because they were not taught in their childhood, in their teenage years, and in their adulthood for that matter, to change. My parents did the very best that they could. They did. I know that they did because they're good people and they love their kids. Because of that, I know that if they understood the principles that I'm sharing right now about testosterone, masculinity, and estrogen and femininity, and how femininity will encourage happiness in women, they would teach it to their kids. They just didn't know. Now, fortunately, evolution allows us for the next generation to know more than their parents, of which I'm so grateful. Nothing had been invented if we did not learn more than what our parents knew. If you look at newer things like cryptocurrency, like all the old people are like, no, that's not going to work, and yeah, no. But the kids are understanding how these things work. Why is it that a parent is sitting down with his computer and he's like, oh, I can't get this program to work. And then his teenage boy comes over, fixes it in 1 minute, boom, and he's been like struggling with it for 4 hours. Do you understand? The next generation will always be wiser if they have learned from the past. If they don't learn from the past, then nothing's going to change. And unhappiness is going to rule forever. This is why it is critical that boys are allowed to be masculine, because this develops their desire to change. I will repeat it. The reason why men need lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of testosterone is to fire them up and to take massive action in creating solutions to the world's problems. What's going to happen if you feminize boys? What's going to happen if you emasculate boys? What's going to happen if you basically tell boys to be a little bit more like girls and control them? Like, do you understand? You're going to have not motivated boys. And if they are motivated, they're motivated because they're feeling so intensely about something, not because it's the rational thing to do. Does that make sense? Boys should be rational, girls should be emotional. And men are still emotional creatures, but they can, once they're rational, they can connect emotion with rationality, and now they can channel their emotions to create results. Those results will then rain on the women in their lives. And those women will be protected, they'll have provision, they'll have food on the table, they'll have a roof over their heads, and they'll be able to socialize and to focus on relationships and happiness and giggling and laughing and dancing and singing and doing all those wonderful things that women are not allowed to do today. Why? Because it's the men's fault. So, masculinity is going to make you unhappy. Why? Think about it. You go to school, you're a teenage girl, and your testosterone has developed. What's going to happen? Well, you're going to be listening to what other people are saying, and you're going to want to compete because you care. And you are ambitious because you've got testosterone. And those ambitions will be, I want to be independent one day. This does not come from you as a girl. This comes from the testosterone that you got from your parents and from society at large, and burdening you and disciplining you and telling you you need to do this and this and this and this. So you're like, yes, I'm going to compete. Making yourself a man. And remember that once you tap into your testosterone potential, it's reinforcing more testosterone into your body because you're now competing. You see someone else doing something better than you, you're going to be like, I'm going to beat them. I'm going to win. That's not normal for a feminine girl. A feminine girl who is happy would be like, oh, you did so great. Wonderful. Give me a hug. Team players. Women who are feminine would be more focused on the journey, enjoying relationships, enjoying the fun that they're having together. But what's happening in today's world, you're getting women filled with massively with testosterone, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start my own business. There's nothing wrong with starting your business. That's, better than modern slavery and having a job. But still, being massively focused, disciplined, and all those things are gonna make you unhappy. Believing that you have to provide for yourself when a man can easily provide for 10, 20, 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people. A true man who is masculine will solve the problem. The problem will be a monetary issue. Guess what? A masculine man loves to provide, which means that he loves money. Doesn't mean that he's gonna be bad. Money is not bad. Money is neutral. Good people who have a lot of money have good power. Bad people who have a lot of money have bad power. We should continuously invest in good people who have a lot of power. And with that power, since they're good people, they'll continuously provide and try to help other people. Can't understand that. There's no problems if men are motivated. The day they're not motivated anymore to provide, we're going to have huge issues. And women are no longer going to have jobs. You got to understand that 2/3 of government positions today are female. That's right. Who provides for those government positions? Men. Rich men. Okay? They're the ones who bring in the dough for those women to have jobs in the government. In private sector, it's 2/3 men and 1/3 women. Interesting. Wonder why. Competitiveness, rejection, discipline, massive focus to achieve a goal. Sorry. Those things are going to make you unhappy, and they'll keep you unhappy for the rest of your life if there's no change. The best way to change this is in your teenage years, to remain in your femininity, to remain being a girl, to have long hair, to have bright colors, to develop your talents of singing and dancing and laughing and socializing with your friends. That's great. Staying away from stimulants, because stimulants is going to force your body to discipline itself unnecessarily to basically get rid of the toxins. If you're more natural and you allow your body to remain pure and natural, then that's going to purge those things. Again, if you're older, then things get a bit different. You need to talk to your doctor before you do anything like that. But as a teenage girl, don't ever get into those unnatural things. It's not acceptable because it's going to make you unhappy in the long run. So please, those parents out there who are basically giving their kids ADHD pills or giving them happy pills or giving them control yourself pills, don't do it. You are ruining the automatic feedback that is natural in human beings of that something is wrong. If there's a symptom, there is something wrong and there's a root cause behind it and it needs to be fixed. And if you just fix the symptom, you're never going to fix the problem. The symptom is fantastic. I remember I was in Africa. I got a massive rash on my face one day, and it was heating up as I was sitting in this meeting, and like my face started swelling up like crazy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And basically, I just drove to the doctor's, which was a half an hour away, unfortunately. And then by the time I arrived at the doctor's, it was gone. Now, I didn't know what has caused that, but I know today it was my unhealthy eating habits being in Africa. You don't want to have bad eating habits when you're living in a country like that. Like when you're living in third world countries. It's going to create issues. But if you live healthily, then your immune system will basically take things out. That's the same thing with you. You want to stay healthy? You want to make sure you're feminine, because femininity in you will allow your immune system to fight off the bad stuff from your body. Does that make sense? So hopefully you got something out of this. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's help build this bigger, because I'm doing this for young women to understand the true principles of life, especially to those who don't have fathers. If I could be a father figure for millions of girls out there who basically need someone serious, someone who can teach them about the truth and what actually will make them truly happy long term, then this is the channel for them. So please share this message, and it's just going to get better and better. This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you again tomorrow.